What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's episode of The Sports Sermon. We are brought to you by Scooch, the most functional phone case on the market. Check out ScoochCase.com to get yours today and use the code SPORTS18, sports with a Z, of course, to get a 10% discount on your order. Stay tuned till the end for a special Scooch giveaway as well. But now, today's episode. So we're here today to talk about the ACC Atlantic Division. I am here with Dylan Staggy and Dan Majors, a.k.a. College Football Guru, a.k.a. Special Teams Guru, a.k.a. Notre Dame Fanatic, a.k.a. NC State Sleeper every year.
Whoa.
Dan, you love them? A.k.a.
Is Notre Dame in the ACC?
Dan Majors. Yes, they kind of are. I'm here with both of them today, and we're going to get into all the teams: Clemson, NC State, Louisville, Wake Forest, Boston College, Florida State, Syracuse, and more. Stay tuned for a special Heisman contender from your boy Jason.
Oh, no.
Stay tuned for that Scooch giveaway that I mentioned, and stay tuned for so much more. But I might as well pass it over to Dan Majors himself. Mr. Majors, take it away.
All right, so we're going to start with Clemson, as they went 12-2 last year, 7-1 in the conference, and won the ACC, and then they lost to Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. They returned 15 total starters, 7 on offense and 8 on defense. Their key losses include Deion Kane, Jason.
My boy.
Yep.
It actually is my boy.
Tyrone Crowder, Ray McLeod, Dorian O'Daniel,
That's your boy, Ray
Van
McLeod.
Smith. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's right.
So, let's talk about this defense. They are just great and might be the best in the country. Do you think this defense is the best in the country?
Why did you say the word might? They are the best defense in the country.
Right.
You look at them, they have the best D-line in the country with Farrell, Wilkins, Bryant, and Lawrence. They have a top 6 linebacker group in Kendall Joseph and Trey Lamar. Top 5 defensive backfield with Muse, Simmons, Mullen. Sorry, I cannot speak. Muse, Simmons, Mullen, and Field. No other team has that. They are absolutely loaded. Top 5, top 6 in every single thing, along with the best D-line. I don't know how they're not the best defense in the country. If they aren't, you're sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they couldn't be. They have 8 guys back on the number 2 scoring defense a year ago. I mean, that defensive line could give me nightmares if I was going up against this team. All 4 of those guys could be in the NFL right now.
And I thought they were going to. Jimmy thought they were going to leave.
Yeah.
And they just like, no, let's go get another ship with my boy Dabo.
Yep, I totally agree with you guys. The only 2 teams that I would put in there kind of close to him would be Alabama
and Ohio State, obviously.
So they'd be in the mix, but Ohio State has a lot to prove at linebacker, and Clemson is way more experienced than Alabama.
See, linebacker, I think, is the position where the top defenses are all lacking. Like, I think Ohio State, Clemson. I think even Alabama. They have good linebackers, probably the best of the 3.
Oh, Alabama has the
That's
best
what I'm saying.
linebacker.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, I don't know. I feel like of the top defenses, like, the one spot where it's going to come down to who has the best defense is the linebackers.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we got some awesome D-lines, though.
D-lines
Oh,
and
yeah,
DBs.
it's
D-lines and
crazy.
DBs are going to be crazy.
Yeah. So, this team, solid. Offense, there could be some stuff to be concerned about.
No.
How about anything on this team? Is
No.
there anything to be concerned about on this team?
There's not. I really don't know. If I had to pick something, it'd be the wide receivers not having any big-name stars. They replace your boy, Ray McLeod, my boy, Deion Kane. But T. Higgins and Amari Rodgers will be fine, and they're deeper than most groups. There's no stars to, I guess, win them games, but they don't really need that. I don't know. They don't really have anything to be concerned about in terms of what I'm worried about. But if I had to pick one, I guess that'd be it. I don't know. I don't really see an issue. A lot of people are saying Trevor Lawrence, you think, would be the quarterback. I still love Kelly Bryant. I
know.
Trevor-
You did last
His
year.
name's Kobe Bryant. How do you not like a guy? His name is Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence actually has better odds to win the Heisman right now than
I know,
Kelly Bryant
I know.
does. It's crazy.
Who's the dude from Indiana that went there and now transferred to Northwestern?
Hunter Johnson.
Hunter Johnson. I thought he was going to win it last year over Kelly. But then once
Last
Kelly... I thought that dude was going to have a hell of a season. Like, I thought he was going to be so good. And then Kelly got it, and I saw Kelly, and I was like, you know what? I like this guy. So I don't know. I'm all in on Kelly Bryant. I know
I think you
you
just
guys
like
knew that.
him because his first initial and last name are the same as Kobe Bryant.
No, I actually do like his game, though. I mean, obviously he's Kobe, so like, I won't ever hate on him. But
Anyway, Dylan, anything to be concerned about on this team?
I also said losing Deion Kane, Ray McLeod. Sorry, I think the overall secondary depth is lacking just a little bit, but honestly, that's just definitely nitpicking. They're the most complete squad in America.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but
who thinks most complete spot in America?
Alabama.
Why?
because there's. Let me get into this real quick.
That's why I asked you.
This
Get into
offense, I don't think they're elite.
You're a hater.
Maybe not even top 15.
Hunter
No.
Renfro, Travis Etienne.
Yeah, but
What if Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback? Would you put them
Who do you
higher?
like better? Who do you like better, Lawrence?
I like Lawrence. And
Okay,
we'll get into
hold
that.
on. This is my question for you. If Lawrence starts for Clemson, Hurts starts for Bama.
What?
If Hurts starts for Bama instead of Tua, and Trevor Lawrence starts for Clemson,
What about it?
who's a better team?
Who's
you
the
don't
better
like Hurts.
team? Oh,
Yeah.
I think Alabama.
Even though Hurts plays and Lawrence plays.
Yes.
Because I knew you didn't like Hurts and then you liked Lawrence. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So you don't think the quarterback matters that much?
For Clemson, yes.
Okay.
More. Than
Okay,
Alabama.
I'm just asking.
But
You
it
can
definitely
keep going, I'm
matters.
just
It
asking.
definitely matters because
I mean, I agree. I don't think quarterbacks are going to make or break either of these teams. They're just so deep where it doesn't matter as much.
for Clemson it matters more.
But it's still not going to, if they're fine. Like, Kelly Bryant was
Well,
fine
okay.
and went to the national championship game. It wasn't great. He was fine.
Right, okay.
That's
but,
my point.
Well, no, they didn't go to the national championship game.
Whatever. Yes, they did.
Last year?
No, they played Bama in the first round.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not bad.
So anyway, but the numbers should improve on offense as everyone is more experienced. But their
Yeah.
passing game probably won't touch the top 25 as they ranked 61st nationally last year and 38th in total offense. I also, like we talked about, Lawrence, I think he can push Brian a little in the situation a lot like Hurts and Tua last year.
Let me guess. You like Lawrence. I like Kelly. That's actually right.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll get into a bold prediction later.
Oh my God, I swear to God, if you tell me that Trevor Lawrence is going to come in the second half of the national championship game and lead the division,
Yeah,
tell me right now. Don't save it. Don't save it.
I'm going to save it.
No, don't save it.
No, we got to save it.
All right, tease the fans.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's tease them. All right, let's tease them.
There you go. Anyway, so let's talk about the record and standings prediction for the Clemson Tigers this year.
I have them 11-1. And they lose at Florida State is their one loss. But I still think they finished first in the ACC Atlantic.
I have them at 12-0, first in the ACC Atlantic. Honestly, there's not really any tough games on the schedule for me. I mean, Florida State might be the only team in the top 25 when they play them. I mean, it's crazy.
Texas A&M, you don't like them?
I mean, I wouldn't say that's. I mean, they'll be on the edge of the top 25.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
saying.
they'll
I mean,
be-
even-
I was just saying
even
it's like a tough non-conference.
They'll be
game.
84-9-3, definitely.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so the schedule it's pretty cake. Not gonna lie, like Dylan mentioned, but
Take by
I
the
think
ocean.
sure.
Attaboy.
But I think they will drop one to a team like Pitt or Syracuse, like they have the past 2 years. So I have them at 11-1, 7-1 in the conference, finishing first in the Atlantic, and losing to Georgia Tech, a
That's
rival.
your squad.
This is a rivalry game where the road team has lost 11 of the last 13 meetings, and
All right,
it's at
Phil
Georgia
Steele.
Tech.
All right,
Mm.
Phil Steele,
So there you
calm
go.
down.
There you go.
That doesn't surprise me that you picked that. My thing is, you go back to last year. If Kelly Bryant doesn't get hurt, they do not lose to Syracuse. I will never die. I will die on that hill. I will never get off that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people like.
They still lost to Pitt the year before. I just don't think they go
Last
12-0. I just don't.
I don't
think
either.
they go 12.
That's why it was at Florida State. That's a realistic game they could lose at Florida
Georgia Tech
State.
is realistic. Out of all of the,
You like Georgia Tech this year?
I do. We'll
Really?
get into that.
Yeah.
I know. I was
But-
just asking. I don't like them.
You don't like Georgia Tech?
I think they're fine. Like they don't do anything for me. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not waking up like, Georgia Tech, let's go.
They
Like,
get
they're
all
fine.
their running backs.
You don't like the triple option.
No, I don't. It bugs me.
They get all of
I
their
have
back.
4-8. That's what I'm talking about right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Check it out on the Coastal
What is wrong?
podcast. Yeah,
Oh my!
you know that we just did the Coastal podcast.
You're
you
right.
really know that.
But I mean, I gotta
Check
give.
that out.
I gotta give him.
Tease the fans.
Exactly.
Tease those fans.
All right. So, are we good on Clemson? Move on.
I think we're good. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we all have them in the playoff.
I mean, maybe there's a team called Miami on the other side, so we'll see.
Eh.
Okay, we all have them in the ACC championship.
Okay, what about Florida State, Jason? I thought you
How
were
about
really
'em?
high on them.
I am high on them. I like them. They're gonna be third in the ACC Atlantic, and they're gonna have a good season.
All right.
I'm always high on the Seminoles.
Anyway, let's move on to the Wolfpack of NC State. My surprise team from last year, as they did surprise a lot of teams where they competed for the Atlantic Division. They went 9-4, 6-2 in the conference, finished second in the Atlantic, got screwed in 2 of their losses, and beat Arizona State in the Sun Bowl. They returned 19 total 9 total starters, not 19. 9, 6 on offense, 3 on defense. Key losses include Jalen Samuels, Nyheim Hines, Tony Adams, Jared Fernandez, and Bradley Chubb. So they had a very solid year last year. Is there a way this team can be as good as the year prior?
I worry about the running back position. True freshman Ricky Person's going to win the job probably. I don't know if I can buy him. But either way, I think we all know he's not going to be as good as Jalen Samuels. Him and Nyheim Hines were nearly unstoppable. For me, it's going to come down to Ryan Finley and the deep wide receiver group they have. I really like Finley. He transferred from Boise State, and I wasn't too high. If you guys remember from last year, Dan loved him. I really didn't like him. But he impressed me this last season. I watched him. I think he's going to gain a lot of experience. But that's the thing is, on the flip side, the Wolfpack are so inexperienced. So for me to say they're going to get back to 8-4 in the regular season,
did you say they are experienced? Or
they're inexperienced.
Oh, okay.
I said Finley's going to gain experience. I think the team is too inexperienced.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's why it's hard for me to say they're going to get back to 8-4 in the regular season. I think it's possible, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, the offense is definitely going to see an uptick. I mean, Finley and Harmon, they're going to be a great duo on the offensive side, but the defense was just absolutely decimated. The loss of Bradley Chubb, I mean, they only have 3 starters coming back. I just can't buy them because of this defense. I don't think Finley and Harmon are going to be enough for them to compete in the Atlantic or do anything special.
Yeah, I say they are no way. There's no way they are as good as
Damn,
last
this is
year.
your squad.
From last year, okay? I cannot get onto a team.
You have to stick
with
with
9
them.
total returning starters. That just, no. I'll give them a ceiling of 8-4, as they will no doubt struggle. Ryan Finley is a stud and probably a top 10 quarterback in the country. But other than that,
Brian Lewerke.
okay. You think Ryan Finley is worse than Brian Lewerke?
You just mentioned top 10 quarterbacks, and I had to bring it up. If we don't get that, check out the Big Ten East, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Big Ten East.
Yeah.
Go check that one out. That one's a real knee slapper.
But anyway, other than Brian Finley, there's not a lot to like about this team. They lose everyone on their elite defensive line, and their 3 returning starters on defense are all in the secondary that ranked 104th in pass defense. So I think this will be a rebuilding year for DeWine. But give me your record exchange prediction for the Wolfpack this year.
I'm 7-5. I think they lose to West Virginia, Boston College, Clemson, Louisville, and North Carolina, and they finish 5th in the ACC Atlantic.
So to beat Florida State.
Yes, NC State upsets Florida State.
I'll give them an 8-4 record, finish 3rd in the Atlantic.
8-4?
Yeah.
Optimistic little Wolfpack over there.
Do you have the losses, or do you not?
I would say I don't have them written down. I'd say Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, and West Virginia.
Okay, so all right.
What about
I
you?
can see it. I have a 6-6 actually.
Really?
3-5 in
Wow.
the conference, losing to West Virginia, Boston College, Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, and North Carolina.
You like North Carolina like I do.
We'll get into that later.
You know,
Actually, no, we won't.
That's
We'll
the
get
other
into
one.
For
That's
another
in
one.
In the Coastal.
That's in the Coastal. Guys,
Yeah.
you have to check out the Coastal podcast. It's really funny. Go check it out. It's a good one.
Anyway, so let's move on to Louisville. As last year they went 8-5, 4-4 in the conference, and tied for 3rd in the Atlantic. And then they lost to Mississippi State in the Tax Slayer Bowl. They returned 11 total starters, 7 on offense and 4 on defense. Their key losses include Lamar Jackson, Malik Williams, Chucky Williams, and Trevon Young. So, they had Lamar Jackson last year.
Yep.
How do you replace a legend in Lamar Jackson?
You don't. And you never can replace a guy like that. And Dan, I want to take you on a trip down memory lane, just to kind of prove my point. And I always say you're the college football expert, right? Let's test that knowledge, shall we, Dylan?
I'm
Let's
probably
do
about
it.
to get
Okay.
exposed.
No,
here.
I'm not even meaning this to like disoppose you. I just want to remember. Like, if you don't remember, it's not a huge deal. I'm just like, okay. So the Florida Gators, after they lost Tim Tebow, remember that guy?
Oh no, what are we doing?
Do you remember Tim Tebow?
I remember Tim Tebow.
One of the best quarterbacks that ever played in college football.
Yeah.
Okay, after they lost him, they've had 11 starting quarterbacks since. Can you name
Florida.
5? Yes,
Name
Florida.
5.
Starting quarterbacks since Tim Tebow.
Okay, Felipe
5.
Franks.
Yep,
Did Zaire ever start a game?
that's 2.
Okay.
I got 4. When I was trying to go through the list, I got 4.
Shoot. This isn't good.
At least talk us
They
through
got
your thought
11?
process.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I didn't know if you were thinking through guys or anything. Okay.
I can't. He's on the Bengals now. What's
you
his
gotta tell me
name?
who you're thinking of.
He's on
I
the
know.
Bengals.
I
now.
know who you're thinking of.
Jeff
now.
Driscoll.
Okay, that's 3. 2 away.
Crap.
Come on. I'll give you one hint if you need it, but you have to. Gotta keep thinking.
Dang, this is tough.
I know.
Is tough.
I have another one too for Texas A&M. Once they lost Johnny Manziel, it's another one.
We're
we have.
doing another one.
Yeah, but it's only 5. I'll see if you name any of them. You should be able to.
Okay,
But
give me
keep
a
going
hint,
for
give
it.
me a hint.
Hint.
Yeah.
One of these guys is still in college football.
Oh.
Is that a good hint, Dylan?
What?
I mean, that's kind of broad. He could win the
No!
Oh shoot, Will Greer.
See, you... Dylan,
Well,
Dylan, get on my
we gotta
podcast.
get on with this.
No, this is 4. See if you can get number 5. Come on.
Oh man.
Come on.
Oh man.
Think of some older guys. Think of some newer guys. Who played in between Will Greer and Felipe Franks? Come on. I'm giving you a 15-second timer. We're gonna move on. Clock starts now. 14, 13, 12,
I don't know. Just tell me.
11. Nothing?
Yeah.
I'll name you all the names.
Okay.
John Brantley. Remember him? No. Jacoby Brissett. Transferred to NC State. Remember that?
Yeah. I just remember him at NC State.
Yeah. Jeff Driscoll, who you mentioned.
Yeah.
Tyler Murphy. Skylar Mornyweg. Remember him?
Kind of.
Yeah. Treon Harris.
Oh shit.
Will Greer.
Yeah.
Luke Del Rio.
Oh
Austin
man.
Appleby.
Oh.
Felipe Franks and Malik
Dude,
Zaire.
now it's
I
coming
know.
back,
See, I
bro.
got 4. The 4 I got were Greer, Franks, Zaire, and Del Rio.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of Austin Appleby. All right, Dan, can you name 2 or more Texas A&M quarterbacks since Manziel? There's only been 5. They're pretty easy. This one should be a pretty easy one. Texas A&M quarterbacks that started the game since Manziel. There's been 5. Come on.
Starkle.
Yep.
Gosh darn it, dude.
Come on. This is easy.
not-
Home run.
Oh shoot.
Your boy.
Kenny Hill. No, Kenny Hill's not from Texas.
No. He's from TCU.
Yeah. No, Kenny Hill was transferred from somewhere.
I think he might have been Texas A&M, but I don't know. It's not on here.
He's not on there?
No.
Kenny Hill's from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
he
okay.
started
the game.
Okay. Then get another one.
Get another one?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't...
All right, fine. I'll give them to you. Kyler Murray. That's what I wanted you to say, because that's your guy. You loved him. Kyle
And he'll
Allen.
be a stud this year. Heisman contender. Anyway, go ahead.
Kenny Hill did. I just looked it up. He broke
Yeah.
like John Manziel's single game passing record.
I
He
was
balled.
really high on him after.
Yeah. Anyway,
week
Kyler
one.
Murray, Kyle Allen, Trevor Knight. Remember him? The dude that
Yeah.
upset Bama in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Trevor Knight, Nick Starkville, and Kellen Mond. But anyway,
Kellen Mond.
the
Why
whole
did I say
point.
Kellen
I know
Mond?
that surprised me. To
I
go
wasn't
all the
thinking
way,
right
I know
now.
I just wasted
Okay.
like 5 minutes, but I
Yeah,
think it's
we
fun
did.
just to go through
We
it,
really
to
did.
go down memory lane. The facts are you just can't replace a Heisman caliber quarterback, and that was really the point I was trying to make. Like, you can't remember guys that played after these legends, and I think that's how we're going to look at Lamar Jackson. I don't see a guy that will really ever replace him. My boy Puma, whatever his last name is, I love this guy. For Louisville, is going to be playing this year. Puma Pass. What a great quarterback name. That is fantastic. I love the name. Not sure I love the game.
Not sure you love the game.
I think he'll be fine. I mean, I have him 8-4, but like, he's a good team. It's not because of Puma Pass.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't replace Lamar Jackson. I mean, they're just going to have a very hard time outscoring teams this year. He's got some receivers back, but there's just not a lot of running back depth this season, not a lot of experience there, and the defense was just absolutely decimated too.
Yeah. So they bring in Juwan Pass, like you guys said. I think it'll be fine. They have the best receiving unit in the ACC, so I think that will help the sophomore in his first season filling some big shoes. I don't think they take as big of a step back as everyone is saying now that Jackson's gone, but it'll definitely be a step back because Jackson was most of the team last year. So, what do you guys like about, or what is your record and standings prediction for?
Yeah, they have a good squad. Puma Pass is a better supporting cast than Lamar Jackson ever had. I think they go 8-4 again. They lose to Bama, Florida State, at Boston College, and at Clemson. They finish 4th in the ACC Atlantic.
I'll take 7-5 also. 4th for Louisville.
I have them at 8-4. 6-2 in the conference, losing to Alabama, Florida State, Clemson, and Kentucky. But I could really see them going 6-6, and probably 5-7 is their floor for me. Honestly, I think they
said they wouldn't take as much of a step back
with pass, I guess, because just at the quarterback position and what their receiving core is. But you look at the defense; they lost a lot of talent. So I don't know. We'll see. The offensive line is definitely better, but the defense could struggle a lot just with not a lot back. So
yeah.
So let's move on to the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. As last year they went 8-5, 4-4 in the conference, and tied for third in the Atlantic. And then they beat Texas A&M in the Belk Bowl. They returned 14 total starters, 8 on offense and 6 on defense. Their key losses include John Wolford, Duke Ejiofor, and Grant Dawson. So, what do you guys like about the Demon Deacons this year? Give me a record and standings prediction.
Yeah, I'll just go right into the standings prediction and all of that. I have them 5-7. I think they have a brutal schedule. It's not because I don't love their team. I think they're going to be a fine team. It's just their schedule's brutal. Boston College, Notre Dame, Clemson, at Florida State, at Louisville, at NC State. That's 6 without dropping any other just normal game. So I have them losing 7 because they'll drop a game to a Pitt or a Duke or something like that. So I have them 5-7. It's just a tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean, they bring a lot back on offense. So I do like them to stay in some games just that way, but I just can't buy the defense at all. I'll say 6-6, and then they finish 6th in the Atlantic also.
I have them 7-5, 4-4 in the conference, and losing to Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, and either Louisville or NC State. I think Wolford, he'll be missed, but everything else should improve from last year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So the two things to watch out for me, I think, are the offensive line and Greg Dortch. I think he'll have a great year. So let's move on to Boston College, as last year they went 7-6, 4-4 in the conference, and tied for third in the Atlantic. And then they lost to Iowa in the Pinstripe Bowl. They returned 16 total starters, 10 on offense and 6 on defense. Their key losses include Ty Schwab and Harold Landry. A lot of people very high on Boston College this year. This is one of the most hyped up Boston College has ever been. Are you buying the hype?
Dylan, you can go first.
Oh, no. What just happened?
I just looked at your guys' notes. Oh,
you should see Jason's. I'm not really buying the hype this year. I think they'll be really fun to watch, and they'll also get into some shootouts like Wake Forest just because of their defense, which I think is going to be pretty atrocious this year. But I can't get into them because of that. I mean, A.J. Dillon's going to be great again this year. Their offense is going to be solid, but I mean, I just have them at 6-6. I think they'll be another average ACC team.
Yeah, Dan, what do you think?
No, look, Jason, you go into it first.
I just asked you.
I asked you guys first.
All right, guys. I am buying the hype this year.
All right.
This is my surprise team in the ACC. 16 returners, like Dan said.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon, freaking baller. He's a true sophomore. He's only getting better. They are very experienced this year. Anthony Brown, their quarterback, has experience to go along with the cannon of an arm. So I think he has a good season, and I really like this Boston College Eagles squad.
Okay, I'm not buying the hype. I'll give them a ceiling of 8-4, maybe 9-3. They pull Miami and Virginia Tech out of the Coastal. That's huge. They definitely have an elite running game, but that's about it. Their secondary, it's also pretty solid. And then their linebacker and defensive lines, that is average. Then let's take a look at the passing game. Anthony Brown.
You don't like Anthony Brown?
Anthony Brown is the second worst quarterback in the ACC after Bryce Perkins of Virginia.
Why do you think that?
Just because they ranked 114th nationally in passing last year.
Sorry, that's 17-year freshman. He's got experience. He's played 12 games. He's played these guys.
Okay.
He's going to bounce back. So you get a guy like Jeff Smith back, they're definitely going to have a balling season. This receiving group is deep.
This receiving group is not.
They have all of their top 6 receivers back. How's it not deep?
Because they weren't good last year.
They can't improve.
They can improve.
Do you not like my boy, Coach Steve Adazio? How do you say his name? Is that right? Adazio?
I never said I didn't like him.
Well, then you're not banking on his improvement. I think this team really improves.
Okay.
I just don't know how. I need you to explain to me why not.
just said why. Their passing game is not going to be good whatsoever, and people are going to figure out how to stop
this
A.J.
team.
Dillon.
I mean, they're far from
why?
complete.
How are you going to stop A.J. Dillon? Tell me, Dan. What is the game plan to stop A.J. Dillon?
Just put everyone in the box.
You're telling me
Let
Anthony Brown
air it out?
You're telling me Anthony Brown's not able to beat teams. Like, if they stack the box, you're not going to trust Anthony Brown at all.
Oh, no.
You are such a hater.
Nope. I think they have the potential to be...
I don't want to hear
I think they're... Were you going to say upset candidate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Especially with Miami and Clemson at home. I mean, that's about it for me with the Eagles, though.
I think they... I don't know. It's tough because I think they have the potential with so much returning to be probably the third best team in the ACC. But that's my ceiling for them.
Interesting.
At like 9-3. But
yeah, I guess we're going to have to disagree. Agree to disagree. I don't know. I don't understand the hate on Anthony Brown. I guess that's where we differ. I think Anthony Brown's going to have a good season. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. So, give me your record and standings prediction for the Eagles.
Dylan?
I'm going 6-6, 5th in the Atlantic.
Solid. Yeah. With this team returning 5 of their top players who are out with injuries, I think they're going to be pretty healthy this year. They're going to stay healthy. They're going to look good. I'm going 10-2. I'm finishing second in the ACC Atlantic, and I have their losses being to Miami and Clemson. I really like A.J. Dillon.
So they beat Florida State.
Yep.
Okay.
And Purdue, and Temple, and UMass, and Holy Cross, Wake Forest, and I said NC State, Louisville, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse. Those are their 10 wins.
Their coastal draws, I just don't think they can.
Yeah, it was tough. I don't know, it was tough, but I don't know. I think Boston College is getting slept on a lot. I like their defense. I think people are hating on their defense a little bit, but I will never discount the Boston College defense. It's the one thing they have every year, and now they got an offense to back it up.
All right, I'll have them going 7-5, 3-5 in the conference, and losing to Wake Forest, Louisville, Miami, Clemson, and Florida State.
Interesting.
Anything else on the Eagles?
No, I'm good. I love A.J. Dillon. I made it clear.
I think the running game is very, very solid. Probably, definitely
elite.
top 5. It's elite, definitely. And if Anthony Brown, if he has one of the best turnarounds ever, then I'll buy the hype. But I just don't buy Anthony Brown.
I don't think he has to do that much. I think that's the thing. I don't think he has to beat teams. They've got a
Look
very.
at what they
they've
had
got
last year.
They've
This
got
is the same thing they had last year, and they went.
But they have
7-6.
experience. They gained one more year of experience. Coach Adazio has one more year of experience. All these guys are just gaining more and more film and more experience against these same teams. Now you get to go up against them. And I like this offensive line. It's a veteran offensive line. You have a great running back. They're going to beat teams, and Anthony Brown just has to not mess it up. I look at this as a poor man's Wisconsin, with a worse offensive line, obviously, but a poor man's Wisconsin. That's how I look at this team.
And a much worse defense.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I look at it. I
But
think
poor man's Wisconsin, you have them the same exact record.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a schedule. I just mean, the way the ACC worked out, and I think Wisconsin has a tough...
Wisconsin's schedule is
It's
much
much more cake than Boston College.
Maybe I'm not as high in the ACC as you guys are.
All right.
I think the Big Ten's a heck of a conference this year in football.
right, but
Yeah.
Wisconsin's side of the
I'm just saying, the Wisconsin's a tough schedule. I like Iowa a lot this year. I think the Big Ten's tougher than
Wisconsin's
I
not,
think the
does
Big
not have a tough schedule though. That's just a fact. I mean, they get 2 teams out of the East that's solid. I think they have Michigan and Penn State.
I don't remember off the top
Yeah,
of my
that's
head.
what they have.
I can look it up if you really want.
No, that's what they have. But anyway,
Wow.
but I mean, I don't know. I just don't see.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I think
Alex Hornibrook is a lot better than.
I don't think we're gonna.
Anthony Brown is one of the worst quarterbacks in the ACC.
Yeah, I think you're overhyping Alex Hornibrook. I don't think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
I never said that. I don't think he is.
I think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
So
So
he's
then
a
we're literally
below
saying the
average
same
quarterback
thing.
in the Big Ten.
Okay, so then what's the difference? Yeah, that's what I said.
What's the difference? Wisconsin's schedule is a lot easier, and they have Wisconsin's so much more talented than Boston College. Look at their defense.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing. That's what you're missing. I'm not saying the Boston College is more talented than Wisconsin. I'm not saying Boston College would beat Wisconsin. I never said these things.
But you haven't. I don't know. I just don't see Boston College going 10-2. That's absurd.
Maybe. But when it happens, I'll be waiting.
You'll be waiting.
Yes, for you to come back to me and say, Jason, how about them Eagles? I'll say, yeah, Dan. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay. That's where we draw the line. All right, let's move on.
Go. That is how it's going to go.
Let's move on to Jason's regular surprise team in Florida State. As last year they went 7-6, 3-5 in the conference, finished 6th in the Atlantic, and beat Southern Miss in the Independence Bowl.
Yeah.
They returned 12 total starters, 8 on offense and 4 on defense. Their key losses include Auden Tate, who's had a great camp with the Bengals, Derwin James, Tarvaris McFadden. I still can't say his name.
It's hard to
Josh
say. But I
Sweat.
Yep. Josh Sweat. Yep.
So, coaching situation.
Yep.
Willie Taggart. Jimbo Fisher gone.
Yep.
Jason, I'm asking you first, as you are normally the Seminole kind of fan, I guess you could say.
I wouldn't call myself a fan. I'd say I'm an optimist.
Okay. What do you think about this coaching situation?
I would say that I don't love Willie Taggart. I really don't. I think he's okay. I loved Jimbo Fisher, so I think it's a definite downgrade. I think that's not crazy to say. That's really all I have as of now, though, because I want to wait and see before I make a judgment on him. I'm optimistic, like I usually am about the Seminoles, but he won't be like Jimbo. He's not going to be a Jimbo Fisher. I'm not expecting him to be a Jimbo Fisher. I'm expecting him to recruit the hell out of some kids in Florida and win some ball games. And I don't know what it's going to be like yet, and I'm waiting, and I'm excited to see how the Seminoles team looks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. I think you gotta wait on Taggart. I mean, he was solid at Oregon, but
solid.
Do you disagree?
Solid.
What would you call it?
Average.
Liquid.
Very average.
Gas.
All right,
go ahead.
But I mean, yeah, you just gotta wait on what he does at Florida State. I think he could definitely be a solid coach for the Seminoles.
Okay. The loss of Jimbo Fisher will no doubt hurt the program, as he had been here since 2010 and was a great replacement for Bowden. Taggart will be here, and I think he competes for the division, but it will most likely be Clemson's division for a while. I do not see Florida State winning an ACC championship for a long time with Willie Taggart. I just don't.
Okay, I'll take it a step further. Do they win an ACC championship under Willie Taggart?
No.
Never. In his tenure.
I would agree with that.
Really?
I think they definitely take a step back with him. Jimbo Fisher was a stud.
I mean, it's hard to see when Clemson's gonna end too. I mean, they just keep pulling the recruits in.
That's very true. And who knows? Maybe Boston College will just keep on going. You know what I'm saying?
Anthony Brown stays for 6 years.
Yeah. Anyway, so this team, it's full of question marks this year, like the quarterback situation, the coaching situation, inexperience on defense, and the schedule difficulty. What is your floor and ceiling for this team?
So I think you look at their floor. I think Taggart isn't what he was supposed to be. They start Blackman. Taggart's a bum. Akers doesn't get any better. The defense is horrendous, and they go 5-7. I think there's a legitimately chance they go 5-7 because their schedule in the ACC could be tough. And if they start James Blackman, Cam Akers doesn't really improve, and Willie Taggart isn't what he lives up to be. I don't think 5-7 is unrealistic. Virginia Tech, Louisville, Miami, Clemson, NC State, Notre Dame, and Boston College. That's 7 losses. I don't think any of those teams are, wow, they beat Florida State? Like, those are some 7 really good football teams. Then you look at their ceiling. If Francois starts, he's himself. Cam Akers, balls. And the defense doesn't regress as much as we expect, I could see 11-1 with a shot at the ACC championship. I already have them beating Clemson, whether they hit their ceiling or not. I think it's a game like a Miami or a Virginia Tech or a Boston College that they have to win and they have to get over the hump. And DeAndre Francois has to be at quarterback in order for this team to have a shot going to the playoff.
Yeah, I mean Blackman was just so bad last year. I definitely wouldn't start him.
He had a better second half than what people are really giving him.
I mean the schedule also lightened up a lot though for him.
Yeah, definitely. He was put in a terrible situation.
Yeah, that's true. I would tighten my floor and ceiling in a little bit from you, Jason. I'll say 7 to 10 wins. I think Taggart can get the job done, and secure at least an above 500 season for Florida State. There's enough talent on this roster by far to do it. I also wouldn't put them at 11-1 though. I wouldn't really put them near Clemson just because of the uncertainty of the quarterback situation, new coach, and everything. I just can't throw them even their ceiling up in that yet.
Yeah, I have them at 11-1, 7-5, just because they are so talented, just everywhere. And we just have no idea how these questions are going to play out. So I think you got to have a low floor, high ceiling. So let's talk about what you will have them doing this year. Record and standings prediction for the Seminoles.
Yeah, I have them 9-3. I have them losing to Virginia Tech, Miami, and Boston College. And I have them finishing third in the ACC Atlantic.
I will give them 8-4, and I have them finishing second in the Atlantic.
You have them at what? Sorry, I missed that.
8-4.
8-4. Wow. Okay, I have them at 10-2. 7-1 in the conference and finishing second in the Atlantic, and losing to Clemson and Notre Dame. This team is talented enough to beat anyone on their schedule, but I just don't expect to win with Willie Taggart against Clemson and Notre Dame.
Why don't you like Taggart so much?
Because he didn't perform that great at Oregon. Oregon didn't have a great team. I'll give him that, and he still went 7-6. I think.
Yeah, I thought he overperformed with what he had.
Yeah, but this is a different kind of program. Oregon and Florida State, it might be too big for him. I don't know.
Interesting.
We'll see.
I don't know. I think that same thing was being talked about with Jimbo Fisher when he took over, taking over from Bobby Bowden. It was, can he live up to the hype?
Yeah, but he was in the
farm system.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he knew the Florida State culture and all of that. Right. But I think that was still a question mark that he had when Jimbo took over. I think it's always going to be a question mark when you have a guy going down to Tallahassee and having to coach with this.
Yeah, it's just going to be very different. It's going to be very different.
Yeah, I think it's a good change. I think for Florida State, I think it's a new regime. It is what it is. And for Jimbo, I think it's a great opportunity for him. And for Coach Taggart, you got to be excited for him also, getting a great opportunity to go coach with one of the best programs in college football.
Yep, so let's move on to the Syracuse Orange, as last year they went 4-8, 2-6 in the conference, 7th in the Atlantic, and had a big upset win over Clemson. They returned 14 total starters, 8 on offense and 6 on defense. Their key losses include Steve Ishmael, Paris Bennett, and Zaire Franklin. So, what do you like about the Syracuse Orange this year? Give me record and standings prediction.
I have them at 4-8. I think they lose to Florida State, Clemson, Pitt, North Carolina, NC State, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Boston College. I'm finishing last or 7th in the ACC Atlantic. And there's not much to like on this Syracuse Orange team besides, just a few pieces. I feel like every bad team has one or two guys that get you up in the morning. But besides that, I don't know. There's not much to like.
You liked Syracuse last year, didn't you? Because you liked Eric Dungy, I thought.
I did like Dungy. I didn't think they were going to be good. I just liked him as a player. I don't know. For me, I guess I like Ravian Pierce as their tight end. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. I don't know. I think he's got a chance to be first or second all-team ACC when it's all said and done. But I don't know. Their defense, like I said, has got a few pieces. Chris Slayton, those kind of guys. I don't know. It's kind of a hard team to judge because they're never in the conversation. So no one really watches them. So I didn't really get too much of an eye on them. And the one game I did watch, I already said I don't count that as a win over Clemson because Kelly Bryant got hurt. And I know it sounds stupid, but I have no doubt in my mind that Kelly Bryant would have won that game if he was healthy.
Yeah, you just look at their schedule, and it's hard to find a game that you're, at least in the ACC, that you're like, I know Syracuse is going to win this. Or at least a lot of them, I wouldn't even say they have a good chance in. North Carolina and Pittsburgh, I would maybe give them a chance. The rest of it, they're just a class above Syracuse. I have them at 4-8 and 7th in the conference.
I actually have them at 2-10.
Really?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Did you have them getting a win in the conference?
I think they either grab a win against Pittsburgh or North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, I have them last in the Atlantic.
Do they beat Wagner, Dan? That's your squad.
Yes, they beat Wagner. But they got Western Michigan and Notre Dame. And I think Western Michigan's going to come to play that day because they don't get many opportunities against Power 5 teams. And then Notre Dame, I think they have no shot against Notre Dame. That's actually in New York, Shamrock Series game. Notre Dame has never lost a Shamrock Series game. So,
Wow. Must be the uniforms.
Actually, there was no Shamrock Series last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So, let's move on to our Heisman contenders from the ACC Atlantic Division. What do you guys got?
So yeah, for me, I think a legitimate Heisman contender. I think if this team plays to the expectations that I have for him, I think A.J. Dillon is a legitimate Heisman contender. I think he's someone that people sleep on. I think Jonathan Taylor gets all the hype, but if they're both running behind the same offensive line, I'd give my money to A.J. Dillon. I think he's the number one. For number two, I think it's the duo of DeAndre Francois and Cam Akers. If one of them can lead this team to what I said of a ceiling of 11-1, I'm really high on DeAndre Francois. I think he can have a heck of a season. So if he leads them to that ceiling that I talked about, I think and definitely same thing with Cam Akers. Third, somewhat of a sleeper in Ryan Finley. I think if NC State gets hot, that's the thing is it all depends on how their team does.
Yeah.
And so these are just guys that I think could be big names that could do it. And then my last guy, it's kind of more of a sleeper that guys don't really talk about. It's on Clemson, and it's Travis Etienne. I really like his game. I think he's somebody that guys don't talk about. I think if this quarterback situation is so much of a question mark, maybe they rely on Etienne. I think he could have a heck of a season.
I think I can see that with Etienne. He's very talented.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with Clemson, you don't really get. I mean, he's not a big name. And like you look at Washington, you look at a guy like Myles Gaskin. Like I've said, I'm really high on him, and he's very underrated. But he's not in the national spotlight at all. And so I don't think a guy like Etienne is going to do much there. But you talked about DeAndre Francois.
Yeah.
Have you seen him lately? He has bulked up.
Yeah, he's jacked.
He is jacked.
I told you, he might be one of my favorite players in college football. Him and like Brian Lewerke, I just love those kind of quarterbacks. And I think both are going to have a heck of a season.
Yeah, I like him. Solid.
For me, I wouldn't say there's even like a true top 10 contender right now in this division. I think guys that could be looking at possibly getting into the Heisman conversation, Kelly Bryant / Trevor Lawrence, if either one of those guys starts performing really well, especially if Lawrence gets in and gets the Tigers hot, gets them to a championship. Maybe Cam Akers if Florida State lives up to their ceiling, but no one really else from... I mean, you look at A.J. Dillon. I'm not as high on Boston College, so I don't think he'll really be in the conversation. It'll be kind of like last year. He wasn't really in that conversation because, Boston College just wasn't good enough.
He was talked about a lot. But so I actually have none. I don't have any Heisman contenders. I think there's very talented players like Cam Akers, DeAndre Francois, A.J. Dillon, and Ryan Finley. But I don't think any of these guys will have their team good enough to be in the conversation. So let's move on to our surprise team of the year out of the Atlantic Division. What do you got?
Yeah, I have to go with Boston College. You guys obviously didn't buy the hype. I did. I'm all in on the Eagles. I think they're going to have a heck of a season. Going to surprise some teams. Shout out Benny Ferrucci, manager at Boston College.
I don't really have a surprise team. I think there is potential for Boston College to possibly be a surprise team. Like Dan said, there's a lot of hype. So I guess that would be the most likely one for me. I don't really have a true surprise team though.
Yeah, I don't either. Florida State I have at 10-2, but I wouldn't really call it a surprise. AP poll hasn't come out yet, but I think they could be ranked to start the year. So actually, they might not.
I doubt it.
Like the
I
first
doubt
time.
they are.
Yeah, that'd be like the first time in a long time they would not be ranked to start the year.
People are sleeping on them. It'll happen.
So let's go into a bold prediction out of the Atlantic Division. What do you got, Jason?
I mean, you guys made it seem like my Boston College one was bold enough, but I went with Florida State. I talked about their ceiling. I think a bold prediction is that they hit that ceiling and they even go above that, and they go 11-1. They win the ACC championship, and they're a playoff team. I think my ceiling was that they go to the ACC championship. I guess my bold prediction would be that they take that a step further, win the ACC championship, and get a playoff spot.
But you don't think that's actually going to happen?
I think it could. I wouldn't be surprised. That's why it's my bold prediction. I wouldn't put my money on it, but I could see it happening.
Okay.
I'm kind of the same way about my bold prediction because I really don't have anything super bold again. I didn't have really a surprise team, but I think Boston College with Miami and Clemson at home could potentially upset one of them.
Okay. I'm going to go into a bold prediction that this sounds very familiar to both Jason and Dylan, as I have Kelly Bryant will struggle at some point this year, and Trevor Lawrence will become the starter and lead Clemson to the playoffs.
Which game?
Yeah, Dan, double down.
No.
Double down.
Come on.
Double
That's bold
down.
enough. That is bold enough.
No, it's not. Double down.
Like mid-season?
No, don't even give him that.
No.
What game? Look at the schedule.
Like I just want to know, is this like a week 1 thing or?
No, not week 1. Okay.
No, come
Let
on.
me get to the schedule
Come
here.
on, let's get it.
To the schedule. Could be Georgia Tech.
Why
What?
Georgia Tech?
What was that?
What are you talking about? What about Georgia Tech? No, actually.
No, like that, I mean
explain
that's
to
the
me.
game
Why
I
Georgia
think
Tech?
they
I know.
they
Explain to me.
lose
Why Georgia Tech?
because that's the game I think they lose, and
What week is that? 4?
and maybe it becomes Syracuse the next week. I don't know. We'll see. But, I mean,
okay,
that's
here,
bold
here.
enough.
Before the bye or after the bye?
That's before the bye.
That's what I'm asking. So you think it's for sure before the bye?
Dude, I don't know. That is bold enough right there that Trevor Lawrence will become the starter and lead Clemson to the playoff.
Until he starts week 1. Then what? Not that bold.
He's not going to start week 1. So
Look at your magazine, please, Mr. Phil Steele.
what about
Look at
it?
the projected starter.
Kelly Bryant?
Look at it.
Okay, I don't know why he has Trevor Lawrence, but
He was so sure that it
No.
was Kelly Bryant.
I think that's actually a typo.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like an
I
accent
swear.
type Trevor Lawrence.
Who? Okay,
I'm sweet.
tell me one person that actually thinks Trevor
Okay,
Lawrence
here,
is going to
don't.
start before
Let's think about it.
in week 1.
I'm gonna go with this guy named Phil Steele. I heard he actually. Dan is so mad. Let's go.
No, I'm not. Like no, this like
It's a typo, right?
Bryant will start week 1. Like this was made a lot earlier. Okay, so
Oh my god.
it is.
This is his Bible when it comes to college football, but then it's made early. Come on now. Trevor Lawrence, he could be a starter week 1. That's not crazy.
No, because Bryant is going to start week 1. That's like been announced.
All right. I just think it's funny that you were so sure.
No, actually though, this was made a lot earlier. So
All right, yeah, I
he
believe.
didn't know that yet.
Okay. I think that it came out that Dabo Swinney said it might bleed into the training camp and spring and all those practices, but like it's fine. I believe you.
Okay.
Is that all we're doing for college football today?
Yeah.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
Alrighty. So, like I mentioned in the opener, Scooch. We're gonna give this away. If you comment and subscribe, and subscribe, you will be entered for a free Scooch case by the end of July. That means you've only got 2 days. So make sure you go and hit that subscribe button, hit that comment button. Tell Dan that he's crazy for having Trevor Lawrence not be the starter. Tell me I'm crazy for saying that Boston College is going 10-2. Tell Dylan he's crazy for... Dylan, give me something crazy you said.
I don't know. I mean, Syracuse has the same kicker and punter.
Tell Dylan he's crazy for thinking that Syracuse has the same kicker and punter. That's about how this episode's gone. So we got that going for us. I apologize that you just listened to this podcast. But really, make sure you subscribe. We have the other half of the ACC up as well. Go check that out. Thanks for listening. Go Eagles.